Hey guys, I had a really cool session with one of my clients the other day that I think will give you some great nuggets and insights. So here we go. We're gonna call her Denise for confidentiality's sake. And she lives in Israel. She's a very skilled yogi practitioner who's been doing it for years. And right now, she's setting up her own studio as a teacher. And she tends to message me whenever something comes up, which is about once a month. And so she messaged me the other day saying that there's something really bothering her, really struggling for the last few weeks, something that she's been carrying for many years, and she has barely told anyone, and she really feels ashamed and guilty about it. So I go, okay, tell me more. She says, I feel really guilty and ashamed for smoking weed. Now you may think, hang on a minute, what's so bad about smoking weed? Well, as it happens, she did yoga training in India, she's read books, watching all those gurus on videos and so forth, and one of the things they would say is you should not use intoxication such as alcohol and drugs. And so therefore her smoking weed felt like she was failing on those masters, like she was betraying herself, betraying them, betraying yoga, like she wasn't true to yoga. And so this was so upsetting to her, she didn't really know what to do with it. So I'm like, okay, let's just scan you. So I closed my eyes, we got into the theta brainwave as we do, and I scanned her, and as soon as I scanned her, what I saw was this image all over Israel as like the collective consciousness that has been suffering for decades through wars and conflict, and there's just so much tension. People are on alert because they might get attacked, but also just judgment and blame and negative emotions like that have been projected onto them from other countries. And so I just saw that collectively their nervous system is just heightened. It's like it's inflamed, right? And so we shifted that for her to make her disconnected from this collective consciousness and to download her nervous system with peacefulness, with calmness, do a balancing of the brain hemispheres so that there's a good balance between the analytical mind and the intuitive creative mind. Because one of the things she said as well, is that she's constantly in doing mode, but she doesn't feel like she's doing the right things, and then she gets worn out, she's tired by the end of the day, so it just feels very unhealthy. And so we did these changes, we started to also look at the benefits of it, because every challenge, every negative thing has a benefit. That's what I always say, right? It was very clear, weed was a way of her to feel more relaxed, to de-stress. And this is shown as well in the fact that most of her friends and her family, even her parents, smoke weed, And today my partner, she said, oh my God, yeah, like almost all Israelis that I meet on my travels have smoking weed or still smoke weed. And so we just took this lesson and this benefit as a sign of appreciation, rather than seeing weed as the bad thing, something to feel really kind of self-critical and judgmental about. We saw it as a gift, something that really served a very valuable person, because it feels obviously better to be relaxed and calm instead of constantly agitated and stressed. And so because it is the body that feels the stress, smoking weed offers people a chance to actually be temporarily out of the body to some extent, right? And that feels good. So we just offer this awareness, this insight, and turn it into appreciation. When you go from guilt, shame, all those lower emotions to appreciation, to acceptance, to love, that's wonderful. That makes you feel better straight away. And so if she wants to no longer smoke weed, she has to go into these higher elevated emotions. It cannot happen from guilt or shame. Whether it's smoking weed or drugs or drinking alcohol, or you're in resistance to your weight, you want to lose weight but you can't, it's probably because you still feel really bad about your weight and you're resisting it. You just don't want to see yourself and feel yourself that way. And so offering the shift was very important to her. And it was a very beautiful session, shifted the way she sees things, her perspectives. And towards the end of the session, I said to her, there is something that just keeps coming to me that I feel like I have to tell you, kind of as a way of integrating the subconscious work that we just did with the conscious work, with the conscious mind. And that is the following. I want you to choose a day where you're gonna do a yoga practice, but you're gonna turn it into a ceremony, and before the yoga practice, I want you to smoke a joint. And she was just like, whoa, like as if that was the scariest thing ever. That was like the least she would have done, or the last she would have done. You know, she was just like so out of her mind, like her possibilities, that it was a no-no. But I said, it's gonna be really important, and what I want you to do is to actually smoke the joint with appreciation for the benefit it has given you throughout all these years, and to then go into your practice with an attitude of curiosity rather than blame or shame or guilt. I want you to be curious about how the weed makes you feel while you do yoga. Be like, I wonder what it feels now in my body, my back, in my hips, my mind, what is going through my mind, and just see it with that beautiful, innocent, neutral energy of curiosity. So she did that yesterday, and today she sent me a message saying, wow, that was really powerful. I did it, it was very special, and I actually felt like I'm a beginner again, which is something I've wanted to experience for years now, you know, because as a teacher, it's gonna help me to teach beginners in a better way. And she did a very therapeutic session of yoga. She said she felt like some of her strong, hard beliefs have been broken. And she's really excited by the way she feels, that it's no longer a taboo. A lot of that guilt and shame is just dissipated. And she feels much relieved. And so now, of course, potentially she could use another session, or maybe not. Perhaps she will choose to keep smoking from time to time, but then with the less harsh feelings about herself. Or she may be like, actually no, I use the weed for certain reasons. It's like a tool, and now I no longer need it because I know the deeper meaning behind it and how it was serving me. So now, from that state of acceptance, love, and self-compassion, I can let go of this tool. So very, very beautiful. And this applies to anything, you know, whether you feel like you're drinking too much, or doing drugs, or scrolling on social media, or playing games, any kind of any kind of action that you do, behavior that you do that you think isn't great, ask yourself, how is it serving me? You know, like, what is the benefit? Because everything we do, there's a benefit. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it anymore. And then from that place, you can either shift things yourself from a higher level of awareness, from more compassion and love towards yourself, if you're able to enter into that meditative state. Or if you need some help, just reach out to someone who works with the subconscious mind. I'm happy to help anytime. Maybe you know any other great therapists, data healers, hypnotherapists, can be anything, but it's very important to work with the subconscious mind, because that's where like 95% of all that we do comes from. And if we want to break a pattern, it has to go into that subconscious mind in order to find the lessons and then shift them. All right. So hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more. Thank you. Have a great day.